Well, greetings and salutations to everybody out there. Dan Thornton once again bringing you Lions Talk Live this morning. Just wanted to say, since it's a slower news day and such, you probably already seen Craig Reynolds is back, David Blau's back. Not big news by any stretch of the imagination. I think probably most Lions fans had some anticipation Reynolds would be coming back. There's no way the Lions are going to go into the regular season with just two and then three, with Knight being signed a couple days ago. David Blau, practice squad player. I think we all get he's been around for a bit. He's been a part of the team, so it makes sense that they're going to bring him back and also put him on the practice squad. But since it's slower news day, I did want to just kind of throw some thoughts at you guys. Why are the Detroit Lions relevant again for the first time really since the 90s? And before that, you'd have to go back to the 50s when they were one of the most dominant franchises in the NFL at that time. Don't forget, there's still something like number 16 or 17th all time in the NFL as far as the amount of victories, as far as championships and things of that sort. But today's video, just real quick, want to throw a thought at you guys as we're entering the weekend. Why are the Lions relevant again? In my opinion, anytime a franchise has success, it starts from the top and trickles on down. Sheila Hamp Ford, unlike her predecessors in the Ford family who have taken over the reins of this franchise, she's actually stayed pretty much hands-off. She's selected a couple people, Brad Holmes, Dan Campbell, Chris Spielman. I mean, you guys get the list of names. And she put them in positions and just said, hey, I'm going to have faith that you are going to handle what I hired you to do. And it's paid off in dividends. We'll see how this season goes. My prediction is it's been on Lions Talk Live. I think we're probably a 10-11 win team. Who knows? Maybe we win one more. Maybe we win one less. But somewhere in that range. I still do think Green Bay is our biggest threat in the division. But going back to Hamp Ford, I just want to say this. The fact that we don't hear about her regularly tells me, and someone who's been a coach, a GM, all that kind of stuff, she's hands off and she has faith that these guys are going to do the right things. Raise your hand right now if you think Brad Holmes is potentially the greatest GM in the Lions history, or at least of most of our lifetimes. I would assume most people are going to raise their hand. Now, when it comes to owners, nothing against William Clay Ford or whomever else. It's just they meddled too much. They said, hey, select this person, take this person. Or when they made a bad hire, they often doubled down and gave that person another contract, thinking that person would eventually rise to the occasion. Sheila really needs to get a lot of praise, maybe not publicly, but in our thoughts and such, because of the job she has done. And I think when Dan Campbell was hired, a lot of people raised an eyebrow and said, man, is this guy really an NFL coach? But you see now, after 3 years of watching him, why he was the selection. The guy's got charisma. There's probably not too many players out there that want to enjoy playing for this guy because of his attitude, because of his honesty. You don't have to wonder what he's thinking. He puts it out there for the world to know, right, wrong, or indifferent. You know where you stand with someone like Dan Campbell. As far as Brad Holmes, why is he great at what he does? Think about his very first pick, Penei Sewell. If you had to redo that entire draft, would the Lions draft anybody really different at that spot? Probably not. The other part is, look at that offensive line at that time. The Lions were able to solidify that group and say, hey, going forward for the next several years, we really shouldn't have to mess with this group. Now look what he did with later picks, that same draft, and other drafts. They solidified the defensive line. I'd say at this point, yeah, we can say it's pretty solid. About the linebacker group, about the cornerback group, or secondary group, I should say, about the receiver group, running backs, etc. Systematically, Brad Holmes went through this team and started building groups or tiers. And now you look across the board, it's hard to really find places of any holes other than perhaps kicker, and that's weird for any Lions fan to say because you'd have to go back to 1980, the last time the Lions didn't have a known quantity at kicker, and unfortunately that's where it is. We've got one of our potentially best teams ever and one of our worst kicking situations in the majority of our lifetimes. Anyways, that's it for Lions Talk Live. Dave, some breaking news happens or trade updates come on. I'll try to jump on and update you guys, but it's going to be a busy day for me. So I hope you all have a good one. I'll see you all on the live show Sunday. 6 to roughly 7 o'clock. So make sure you tune on in. Fire away some questions if you have them. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you next time on Lions Talk Live.